Hello maths fans. So we're looking to find the general term un for an arithmetic sequence with u3 equal 8 and u8 equals negative 17. I recommend pausing the video and seeing what you do know about this. See if you can get started. Okay, now there are a few ways to have a go at this one, but I think a really useful thing that you need to do is make sure you're aware of what the general formula is. Well, with an arithmetic sequence, and you can look this up in a formula book if you're an IB student, it's the first term in a sequence plus n minus 1 multiplied by the difference. So we can use this to try and find our general term. We can substitute values in to hopefully find a general term. But we've got a few things I need to think about here. Let's think about what this means. U3 is 8, U8 is minus 17. Well, I've got my first term, U1. We don't know what it is yet. U2, U3 is 8, U4, 5, 6, 7, and U8 is negative 17. So something's happening in this sequence where we're adding or taking away a common difference each time we move along the sequence. So as I move from U1 to U2, I'm going to add a common difference. From U2 to U3, I'm going to add a common difference, and so on. All the way down my sequence, I'm always adding that D. So, in order to get from U1 to U3, I have to add two lots of the difference. And that's where this general formula comes in. Position 3, I add two lots of the difference, one less than the 3. In order to get to position 8, term number 8, what I'm adding is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lots of D. So let's put those two bits of information into this general formula. Let's consider this U3 first. So for U3, we know that it equals 8. We don't know the first term yet, but we do know that I add two lots of D, because I'm substituting these values in here. For that third term, U3, we know that it equals 8, and so n minus 1 is going to be 2. We've also got the information for U8. So we know that that 8th term equals negative 17. We don't know the first term, but we do know that we're adding 1 less than 8, which is 7, times the common difference. Now that we've got two equations here that are both true, we can solve these using simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations. That's what we're going to use to find out what D is and what our first term is. So, let's line these up next to each other. 8 equals U1 plus 2D, and negative 17 equals U1 plus 7D. Well, if I subtract one from the other, let's go for B minus A. I'm going to get over here 5D. The U1s will cancel out. And minus 17 minus 8 is minus 25. And if I divide by 5, I'm going to get negative 5 equals D. So my common difference is negative 5. I'm subtracting 5 all the way along this sequence. And let's just check that. Let's just check what happens when I subtract 5 here. I go from 8 to 3 minus 5 is minus 2, take away another 5 is negative 7, take away another 5 is negative 12, and take away another 5 is negative 17. It works. If I go back the other way, I'm kind of adding 5 to go back this way. So 8 add 5 is 13, add another 5 is 18. And so I can work out what the first term in that sequence is, and I can work out my general term for this sequence, because I've got u1 here. So my general term, un, is equal to the first term, which is 18, plus n minus 1 multiplied by negative 5. And that's the general term for that sequence. If perhaps I had numbers much further up the sequence and it wasn't so convenient to just jump back to this first term, what I could do is I could substitute minus 5 equals d into one of these equations. Let's take this one for example, and I would say 8 equals u1 plus 2 times minus 5, and therefore 8 equals u1 minus 10. Add 10 to both sides and I get 18 equals u1. That's another way to find that first term of that sequence, and give us this general term for the sequence. I could tidy that up a little, I suppose. un equals 18 plus, well, n times minus 5, that's minus 5n. Minus 1 times minus 5 is plus 5. And so un equals negative 5n plus 23. Or 23 minus 5n if you prefer. All good. And that's the end. I think this is my favourite. There's the answer.